Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. In this video, I go through some ideas I've had to fit a small 120cm by 60cm or 4 foot by 2 foot in old money baseboard to replace my original Bransty layout. Hope you enjoy the video. As you might have seen in the 2023 preview video, I've been having some thoughts about replacing my original Bransty layout, which is my big layout. And if I'm honest, I've been having ideas about replacing it since I finished it about 4 years ago, as there are quite a few things about it that I like to improve, particularly the smoothness of the running and the lack of fiddle yard. That said, I've decided to stick with it for now. My son really enjoys playing with it despite its faults. So the ideas I'm going to talk through are just that, or are likely to remain that for a while. They're going to be ideas. I'm going to be sticking with the original. But I thought I'd share them anyway, just to kind of, if you're looking for ideas for being from Whitehaven, I always wanted to try and have a layout based on Whitehaven Station, but fitting that into the kind of 120, 60cm layout space is a real challenge. My Bransty layout does have some features that are based on the original Whitehaven Bransty station, such as the station building and a canopy, and you've got the tunnel entrance right at the end of the platform. But it is a long way from the actual track plan of the station back in the sort of 30s that it's kind of meant to represent. When I'm talking about Whitehaven Station, it isn't the current one. It's a quite nice old, much bigger station building than the current sort of shed that there is there at the moment. The track plan was, like most places, a lot more detailed than it is now. And that's kind of what I wanted to try and model. And this is the best I've come up with so far in the space. So it's an end-to-end layout. So you would need a fiddle yard at the front and another one through a tunnel. And in the centre, you've got the station building, which is to scale, I think. And you've got all 4 platforms, although they are shortened a little bit. Added some sidings that will be used to store coal wagons that are being moved out to the harbour. I've also added a small engine shed as a nod to the original carriage sheds that used to be there a long time ago. And there is space for a turntable roughly where it was, although I've seen it in multiple locations in old OS maps, so I think it did move around. But this is definitely, I think this is one of the places it would have been. And at the back, you've got Bransty Hill rising up, which gives a nice back scene to the station. And then I've also fitted in a kind of track off to the harbour, which you could use, which could lead to a fiddle yard as well, or you could even kind of loop it around as like almost a sort of not a continuous loop. Yeah, it will be kind of continuous loop, but you need reverse the polarity as it came back out again. But yeah, this is kind of the best, or the closest, I think, that I've come to for Whitehaven in the space. Moving up the coast a bit is this layout that I came up with based on Harrington. So Harrington is a small harbour town between Whitehaven and Workington, through which the railway runs on a viaduct just at the back of the harbour. So at the north end you've got the the station, and then as the trains leave the station heading south, they then go across a viaduct across the back of the harbour and then disappear behind a cutting. It's quite a famous place for railway photographers. If you do a Google search for Harrington trains, then you'll probably find quite a lot of photos of the area. And I thought this would work quite well as yeah, a nice layout in the space that I've got. And so in SCORM, I come up with this. Again, it's end to end. You've got the fiddle yards off the layout, so you would need more space for those. But yeah, I think it does work quite well in the space, and you probably could recreate some of those famous scenes of the trains crossing over the viaduct. Yeah, I think it worked quite well, and I think it probably would work in most eras. I don't think from the photos that I've seen that much has changed over the years. The only thing that I did notice was I think they redid the viaduct fairly recently, but it doesn't look like it's changed that much. And this one was probably my favourite out of the designs I come up with for the space. And I think I am going to replicate this station, but not on this board. I think I'm going to do it on something different, which you might see in a future video. And yeah, it's a representation of St. Bees station, which is south of Whitehaven, and where the Cumbrian coastline is briefly doubled. So you get lots of nice photos of trains passing one another. I think back when DRS were running the loco-hauled 37s, I think an awful lot of the photos of those were taken at St. Bees. So you got the two of them passing one another. Looked really good. The real location obviously isn't a 180-degree loop as I've got it here. It's more of a slight curve, almost straight. But I think it should work in this space. I think the curves are second and third radius, so it should look okay. You shouldn't have the massive big overhangs that you sometimes get with tight curves with the coaches and stuff. And this is sort of the station as it was in sort of the steam era. So you still got the good siding beside the station, which I think is now where the car park is. And there's room for another siding at the other side of the level crossing, which I think was one for the local co-merchants. It's got some quite distinctive features. So the signal box is quite interesting. You got the level crossing as well beside the station. The station buildings themselves are quite interesting. And you've got the old hotel and the old building of St. Bees behind it. So yeah, I think it's quite a nice layout, which is why I'm gonna make it. But I'm not gonna do it in the 4x2 in a 4x2 layout space. And I think this will also work quite well in modern times. So you just ditch the sidings, move a car park in, but I still think it'd be quite an interesting layout to make. And this one's a little bit off piste. So I've called it Cleator because the buildings and the rugby pitch are where they are in Cleator. But this is kind of Cleator meets the West Highland line. So you've got an island platform with trains passing either side. Added some sidings that you may find if you were on the West Highland line, probably wouldn't find them at Cleator. But yeah, this is kind of a sort of imagined layout if they happen to have kept the railways round about that part of Cumbria instead of just having the Cumbrian coastline. Back in the day, there were a lot of railways around about there serving the local coal mines and iron ore mines. All that's gone now. But if they had a bit of foresight and decided to keep them, then this might have been what existed. So you got the station at the back, higher up than the town, and again you got the fiddle yards off to the sides, and sort of a couple of sidings, and trains will come in and pass one another throughout it. I think it is more sort of West Highland line than West Cumbria, but I think it would make quite a nice layout, I think. And I hope you've enjoyed this video of some ideas for a small layout. If you did, please leave a like or let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you all next time.